Yo, so welcome to the stream. And so I am, of course, Corey from Modbap Modular, from Beat People, from Modbap on Instagram, also from B-Boy Tech Report, first and foremost. And so some of you all know about, let's move to this side. You all know that I released that module um, 10/10/2020 special date. So that means the first year anniversary is upcoming. But my next module is called Osiris. And we're debuting it this weekend or this week. And so I just want to kind of come to you, give you a bit of an overview of that module. So bear with me, and I'm going to go through this Osiris module. And first and foremost, I'll put a picture up. And this is a picture of, okay, got a mic a little closer. Might be a little less room noise that way. So this is Osiris. Osiris is a bifidelity wavetable oscillator. And what I mean by bifidelity, let's start there, right? So this idea of bifidelity is something that I thought of because we have this module running at 96 kilohertz on the platform that it's running on, and but it also has a fidelity knob, and on one end you're getting hi-fi, basically no processing, and it's running at the full 96 kilohertz. But then when you start to turn that knob, you start to introduce a bit of jitter into the signal, a bit of bit reduction, and a bit of friendly noise, right? So this sort of concoction of lo-fi that we've put in here is really just about not just applying a bit reduction, making some musical that give you some more character, that give you a signal a little more bite. So what you're hearing in the background is actually um, Osiris. And so what I did here is, let's move that over just a little bit. What I have going on here is I have data as a scope, so you all can see that. I also have performer, and I'm just running a simple thing with my MPC. If you look at the bottom of the screen down here, you'll see this is my MPC just beneath the rack. And so I want to just give you an overview. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit, and hopefully you'll be able to hear both, which I think you can, both my voice and the module. Now, I'm live streaming with a camera that'll probably go out from time to time. And the reason I say that is because it has a certain time that it will do live streaming before I have to do a little quick switcheroo. And so we'll do that. So bear with me. And let's talk about Osiris. So Osiris has 4 banks, and you scroll through those banks like this. All right. Osiris also, right now we're on bank 1, wavetable 1. So this changes okay, let's first start. Each bank contains 32 wavetables. And those 32 wavetables can be scrolled through using wave Y. I'm literally going through a list of wavetables right now. That's 32 different wavetables. Each of those 32 wavetables has 32 waveforms in them. So I could scroll here. And what you're seeing me do is on wavetable 1, I'm going from left to right on the x-axis, scrolling through the waveforms in wavetable 1, the first wavetable, or whatever wavetable I'm on. It'll do that. And so that's kind of how that operates. That's the initial sort of operation of how you navigate the wavetables. You have your pitch, you have your fine tune, you have a sub oscillator built in, with a few different, you have a square wave, a sine wave, a triangle wave, and then you have -1, -2. Excuse me, 1 octave below, 2 octaves below. So what that'll do is it'll take the existing waveform or wavetable, and it'll give you 1 octave below a copy of that wavetable at 1 octave below. Or if you go to 2, you'll get a copy of the current wavetable at 2 octaves below. But I'm not going to play that just yet. I'm not going to show you how that sounds because I want to kind of take you through the sort of operation and give you audio examples of what's going on. Now, so you also have the Fidelity Knob, like so. All right. And like I said, that introduces some form of jitter to the signal, a little bit of noise, and some bit reduction, and some other fancy footwork in there too. That's just not a simple bit reduction, but it actually gives a little bit of character to the sound and can get pretty lo-fi. So again, that's why it's a bi-fidelity wavetable oscillator. And so the other thing is we have these two timbre knobs and they operate together. So right now you have these modes. You have unison, bend, fold, windowed sync, noise, and then you have on the right side of the knob FM 1 through 8 basically. So I'm just going to turn that up. And so this is unison. It's on unison, and I'm just digging in with the amount. And so we're just on a sine wave. So it's, there's going to be some cool things. Right now, we're on bend, and you can see what that shape looks like. It looks similar to the shape that's actually on the panel here. We'll take that up to fold. Again, these scroll smoothly between these modes, so you can modulate them as well. All right, and that's also similar to what's on the panel. So each one of these, if you look at them on the scope, you'll be getting what they actually look like on the panel on the scope. This is a windowed sync. And now we're going to start getting into the noise. These are all timbre modes that you can modulate or scroll through. Now we're going to FM, right? FM 1 through 8. All right, so let's go back down. Now, so you can see that these two work in tandem together. Timbre amount here, and timbre mode. All of these things are CVable at the bottom. And if you look at the image on the left, you'll see wave X, sub-volt per octave, T mode. T mode is timbre mode, fidelity, sub out. Then you'll see wave Y, sub wave, T amount, which is timbre amount, obviously, and decay. And speaking of decay, I added decay because I wanted to be able to do these plucks that I often do in my performances and adding a little delay. Or you can open that decay all the way up for these beautiful sort of drones and just wide open releases, right? And so also, if I stop that, I added a trigger, right? Because that's fun. And if you're the type that's kind of designing a sound, but you're not ready to play your melody, you can start to set things up with that trigger button. You can use it like percussion, right? All right, so let's go back to our melody. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start to make things a little more interesting while I, dial in a couple things. So what I would probably do, because this is basically a sine wave. And I do have a filter on it that's off screen. And I do have a modulation source that's off screen. So I may be bringing in some of these guys to modulate some of this stuff. But before we get there, I just went to a little more interesting wave here. Let's add a little bit. Open this up. And for the purposes of being musical, because now you know what all of these things do, for the purposes of being musical, I'm going to add some effects from the performer. Turn it down just a little bit so you can kind of hear me talk through this. We're adding some timbre mode. A lot of different flavors you can get out of this. You can see it can get rough real easily. On the FM modes, I like to kind of keep it a little low. Turn down the volume a little bit so we have a little more headroom. Now I'm gonna give it some delay. Just so you can kind of get an idea also of how Osiris and Performer work together. Performer is a really dope, if I do say so myself, a really dope effects module. And so with this reverb and with this delay, like you can really open up Osiris to some otherworldly type of sounds, right? So now we got this going on. Let's say I want to, let's bring this back over to fold. And you're hearing a little bit of low end, but I haven't added any of the sub yet. Let's add some of the sub. And it really gets sweet around this point. See, we can get some really cool things out of this, right? And let's kind of go through some of what those bass sounds like. And so that's the sub that lives in there. Introduce some lower fidelity to just the sub square wave. All right. So let's bring that wavetable back in there with the VCA. Open that up a little more. Now you have a sense of what you look to. All right, let's have a little fun. Where the drums at? All right, I'm moving this mic away because I'm just gonna demo things. And so, I want to also say that what I have going on here is what you don't see off the screen is I have an MPC that's driving the melody. Attached to the MPC, I have another performer that's kind of acting like performance effects, right? And this is a performer that's dedicated to Osiris in the setup and the patch that I have going on here. And so I'll just talk to you directly while this is playing low here. And so the cool thing that, I'm thinking about how these things are going to interact with one another. So I'll explain the patch that I have going on. And I don't have an image for it right now, I don't think. No, I don't have the image up. But what I have going on is the Osiris is going through a filter that I have on it right now. But the whole time that I was demoing, it was just wide open, so you weren't hearing the filter. But I'm filtering it now. And then it's going through the performer. Then the output of this rack is going into the MPC, and I'm monitoring the output. So the reason I do that is that so everything is basically the MPC. So the signal that I'm processing in the final stage through the second performer here that's being my performance effects is basically everything that I'm using, the rack and the MPC coming through the MPC and into the performer, then back out to, the house, so to speak. And the reason I'm doing that is because that's how I perform. But the benefit of this is that this performer that I have up here with the Osiris by itself is I get to use the effects of that, and which comes with one of my favorite things on the performer is the wax effect. And so when I'm talking about by fidelity and processing effects, that really is a serious thing to me, because I like things to sound like they come from tape, or I like things to sound like I've sampled them and put them into the MPC. I like things to sound like they're coming off of vinyl. So I created these effects on here so that I could process things and have live synthesis being processed and sounding like it was sampled, right? So I'm gonna add wax onto Osiris and then put some lo-fi fidelity Osiris onto it. So you're gonna start to hear how this sort of gels together. And bear with me. I apologize if I'm getting a little long-winded. But yeah, it's just an overview, and it wouldn't be a Modbap overview without a little Modbap. All right, so let's make sure my camera is right. Where we at? Yeah, I turn it back on. And while you're at it, be sure to subscribe. There'll be more announcements and other things happening as we go. So yeah, let's get into it. Adding the vinyl. So you'll start to hear some warble and pop effects, like if I take those up. Put it back. Hear that little warble, and you'll start to get some pop. I wanted to do that. That's not the oscillator. That's actually the wax effect on the performer. So let's bring back the reverb and the delay. All right. I want to bring in some modulation. Let's see if we can make this work. I'm going to modulate wave X. And so what you're hearing is this kind of, you can make modulation as heavy-handed as you want to, and it'll be simulating you turning the knob that you're modulating, right? And let's see, let's modulate the this guy, timbre amount. A little heavy-handed, so let's try some other modulation that I have going through here. And I'm going to modulate this now, the K. Now let's make this noisy just to show you that it's not just pretty. Bear with me. All right, that's Osiris. Let's bring it back down. Even got some, I mean, that even goes into like distorted guitar territory. Boom. That's Osiris. And so, yo, thanks for joining me. It's been about a half hour, so I think I'll cut it right there. But yeah, that's Osiris, and that's what it's about. Um, hope you've enjoyed this overview. There'll be much more to come. And yeah, Modbap Osiris is available for pre-order now on modbap.com. Be sure to hit up your local modular shop, no matter where you are in the world, and request that Modbap Modular Osiris because it's what you need. Oh, I should probably mention though, if you go to modbap.com/Osiris edit, that's another thing about this. So we thought it would be a good idea. That's why it has an SD card. We thought it would be a good idea. I really wanted to be able to have a SD card there for user wavetables. And so we're going to be doing this whole thing called wave packs. So each bank or we'll be making available for download banks of wave packs, wavetables, but we call them wave packs. So don't get confused when you see that terminology. Think of a sample pack and then equate that to a pack of wavetables for Osiris wave packs. All right. So we'll have artist endorsed and artist special, packs of wave packs for, sorry, for Osiris. And I'm really excited about that because I think that's just dope. And I think it's going to be cool to kind of keep content coming for it. And also with Osiris Edit, which is actually a open source wavetable editor program that is based on Wave Edit, which is also an open source program. And so we created a version of it for Osiris Edit specifically because my wavetables for this have to be 32 wave forms long, right? So you get 32 waveforms within a wavetable. So some of them have like, I don't know, whatever it is, 64 or 128 waveforms in a wavetable. We want it to be very specific with this. So each wavetable has 32 waveforms and they have to be 256 samples and 16-bit, all of this stuff. And so what you can do, and I'll do a whole separate video for Wave Edit, but we've added some special things in Wave Edit where if you have some wavetables already that you just want to convert, these are not wavetables that you've created, but you want to make sure they work with Osiris. We've added a converter into this open source program, and that's why we've kind of specially it's a dedicated program specially for Osiris based on an open source wavetable editor. So you can go in there and do the convert, and you can kind of convert a folder full of wavetables to Osiris wave packs. And it's a very cool thing, and I'm looking forward to showing that to you too. But for now, I just wanted to kind of shout that out to you, show you what's up with that. And like I said, thanks for joining me for this little special announcement and this special little overview of Osiris. There's going to be a lot more content to come from it. We got a lot of special sort of demos to come. So hopefully you'll have this in your case soon. And thanks for all the support. All right. Head over to modbap.com, go to the shop and look under modules, and you'll see Osiris, the Fidelity wavetable oscillator. All right. Peace.